This is the Golden Gate. It's the east gate. It's known as the Mercy Gate to Jerusalem. As you can tell, it's been sealed up for a long, long time.
According to Jewish tradition, the Messiah will enter Jerusalem through this gate.
Deep within the ancient city of Jerusalem lies a mysterious doorway, long forgotten by the world, but never erased by history. It sits silently on the eastern wall, untouched by human feet for nearly 5 centuries. This is not just any entrance. This is the Eastern Gate, also known as the Golden Gate. For over 480 years, it has remained sealed shut, locked in silence. But recently, something has changed. Something invisible is becoming visible. The silence feels thinner, the stones less still. Some believe what's happening at this forgotten threshold might be the start of something divine. What if this isn't just a relic of the past, but a ticking clock from heaven? What if this sealed gate is actually a sacred signal pointing toward the return of the King of Kings? But before we go any deeper into this powerful mystery, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe to our channel. That way, you won't miss any of the powerful biblical revelations and end-time signs we continue to explore together. Let's now uncover the astonishing history and prophetic power of the Eastern Gate. This gate isn't just another section of an old wall. It faces the Mount of Olives, a hill that holds enormous spiritual weight in both Jewish and Christian traditions. It was through this very path that the divine presence of God once entered Jerusalem, according to the prophet Ezekiel. The glory of God, the Shekinah, once moved through the Eastern Gate into the temple, and when the people turned away from him, that same presence left the city through the very same path. Generations later, the Son of God, Jesus, fulfilled this same pattern. As he rode into Jerusalem on a donkey during what we now call Palm Sunday, the crowds cheered and laid palm branches at his feet. He passed through this exact gate as they shouted, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." That was not just a celebration, it was the fulfillment of divine prophecy. But the story of this gate doesn't end there. Fast forward to the 16th century. In 1541, Jerusalem was under the control of the Ottoman Empire. The ruler at the time was Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, an intelligent and deeply strategic leader. During his reign, something strange happened. He commanded that the Eastern Gate be sealed shut. Thick stones were laid over its entrance, no announcement, no recorded explanation, just silence. But those who understood the ancient prophecies suspected something deeper. According to Jewish tradition, the long-awaited Messiah would enter Jerusalem through this very gate. By sealing it shut, some believe Suleiman hoped to prevent that prophecy from ever coming true. To make it even more impenetrable, he ordered a Muslim cemetery to be built directly in front of the gate. Why a cemetery? In Jewish law, a priest is forbidden from walking through a graveyard, as it would make him ritually unclean. Since the Messiah is prophesied to come from a priestly or royal lineage, this wasn't just a wall, it was a spiritual blockade. But can human efforts really hold back the plan of God? In recent years, something unusual has begun to happen. People who gather near the gate, many to pray, others just to observe, have noticed changes. These aren't dramatic or destructive shifts, but subtle ones. Cracks are forming in the tightly packed stones. Blocks seem to have moved slightly out of place. Some have felt faint vibrations beneath their feet, not from traffic or machinery, but something deeper. As if the earth itself was stirring under their prayers. A few witnesses have even reported hearing soft thuds or groaning sounds coming from inside the sealed gate, like ancient hinges whispering after centuries of rest. And while none of this has been officially confirmed by science or archaeologists, these quiet whispers are growing louder among believers. They feel it in their spirit. Something is shifting. Something is waking up. Of course, skeptics might say that old stones shift all the time, that centuries of rain, wind, and human activity could easily cause wear and tear. And yes, that's true. But what if these little changes are more than just nature? What if they're signs that the spiritual is beginning to leak into the physical? The Bible often tells us that what happens in the unseen world comes before what we experience in the seen one. Hebrews 11:3 reminds us that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. That means that often the invisible world is where the real movement begins. If the Eastern Gate is beginning to stir, it may not crack open all at once. God's work doesn't always come with a thunderclap. Sometimes it arrives like a whisper, like a breeze before a storm, quietly, powerfully, unstoppably. And if these whispers are true, then the gate might be preparing, not for ordinary footsteps, but for the arrival of the King. In today's world of rising conflict, moral chaos, natural disasters, and global unrest, Jerusalem is once again at the center of attention. As the world grows darker, more unstable, and more divided, this ancient city shines like a candle in the night. And now, the sealed Eastern Gate is coming back into conversation. The same gate that welcomed God's presence in the past, the same path that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on, the same place that has been locked tight for nearly 500 years. And yet, it's beginning to feel like it won't stay shut forever.
Jesus himself gave us a powerful warning.
In Mark 13:28-29, he said, "Now learn this lesson from the fig tree. As soon as its twigs get tender and its leaves come out, you know that summer is near. Even so, when you see these things happening, you know that it is near, right at the door." That phrase, right at the door, feels especially important now. What if Jesus wasn't just talking about time, but also about location? What if he meant this door, this gate? What if that ancient, silent threshold is more than just stone and mortar? What if it's the very doorway through which the King will return? Psalm 122 verse 6 tells us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. The prophets say, God has placed his name in that city forever. Jesus wept over Jerusalem, knowing they didn't recognize the hour of their visitation. But maybe, just maybe, the veil is lifting again. Maybe the signs are becoming clearer. And if the gate is really moving, if even the stones are preparing, then it's time for us to prepare too. Stay alert. Keep your eyes on the city. Keep your heart turned toward heaven, because the day may be closer than we ever imagined. The King is not far, and the gate is beginning to open. Please remember to subscribe to our channel so you never miss an update. We'll continue uncovering the signs, the prophecies, and the truth behind the stories that shape our world and point to the soon return of Jesus. These are not ordinary days. These are prophetic moments. Let's walk through them together, watching, praying, and preparing, because the King is coming and even the gate knows it.